There's a little bit of interference at the moment, so maybe the man is speaking. So let's let the man speak first. Yes, please carry on.
Anh nói đi. Nói đi.
Cái việc mà chấm dứt cái luân hồi đó, có thể chấm dứt được chưa?
Anh tên là gì? Hiểu.
He just asked because this morning we talked a little bit what his understanding about the Buddha's teaching is, and because he just listened to the different teachers in Mahayana, and he said that his understanding of the Buddha's teaching is that the Buddha taught about what is good, and he never heard about the ending of the cycle of birth and death. So now his question is whether the cycle of birth and death can be ended now.
Let's talk about what is good now first. So what is good now at this moment? Yes, please, Sarah. Any answer? Asked him what is good now because it was said he talked about what he listened to what is good. So what is good now?
Cái thiện đó là những cái ví dụ như là mình làm những điều tốt, là cái
cụ thể ra
cụ thể là mình đi làm những việc là chính đáng, rồi sống cho những cái việc rất là tốt cho xã hội.
Hải đang dịch sang bên tiếng kia.
We're not hearing you.
We can't hear you at all. Hi, we can't hear any translation.
Không nghe tiếng của Ngài.
So the good is doing the good actions. For example, in the daily life, we do the things that is worthy, and we live accordingly to good standard of people.
What about when we give a gift? Is each moment when giving a gift good and worthy?
Đưa một món quà đó nằm trong những cái tình huống mình, cái đó là rất cần thiết, là rất là tốt.
When it give, it is one of the situations that is good and it is very necessary.
For example, when giving, there may be some moments of kindness and thinking of the benefit of the receiver. So these moments are good. What about when there is clinging to the object we give, liking it so much? Is this good? What about when we're waiting for the receiver to acknowledge the gift or appreciate the gift? Are those moments with expectation good? What about when we hope that they will return the offering in some way? Is that good? gradually we learn that life just exists in one moment. So actually a moment of good is just for a moment. Usually we think, like you said, about different good situations. When we help someone who has fallen over, it's good. When we make an offering, it's good. But without a little more understanding, how can it be known, even at this moment when we're listening to Dhamma, whether it is good or not, even right now? For example, now there are moments of seeing and moments of hearing. Are they good? What about when we're just listening to the Dhamma? Is it good? Without any understanding, we just speculate that this is a good situation and that is a bad situation. But the Buddha taught that each moment arises and falls away. So there are moments like seeing and hearing which are not good and not bad. And they are followed by moments of attachment, moments of ignorance, which are not good. And occasionally moments of kindness or generosity, but actually much more attachment and ignorance, even when we think it is a good situation, like being in a Dhamma discussion or making an offering at the temple. Many more moments of clinging, many more moments of ignorance. And the best good of all we learn from the Buddha is the letting go of the idea of I, my goodness, my badness, my seeing, my hearing. And this can only develop with understanding of what life is right now. For example, now at a moment of seeing, is it your seeing or high seeing or my seeing, or is it just a moment of seeing now? We begin to consider what life is at this very moment. So if I am to ask you, what is life now at this moment? What is your answer? Because you have considered you've listened to different teachers. Have you learned anything about what is life at this moment? About this moment, it will always be the idea of I am doing good or I am doing bad, or this situation is good or that situation is bad. There will not be any letting go of the idea of I. But Buddha taught us that all dhammas, all realities in life are anatta. No one here, no one there. So we have to consider what is anatta at this moment. Like seeing now, just a moment of experiencing, not my seeing, and the understanding of the reality now, just a little and a little more. This is the best of all.
Tomorrow.
Any comments or questions about this so far? Because it may be a little different from what you've heard.
Cái đó chính xác là có gì?
We don't have to call what is being taught by Buddha, we don't have to call it Mahayana or Theravada or any name. Because actually what we're learning is just about the truth about life at this moment. So the terms are not important, and what that teacher says is not important, but what is important is the understanding of what is true, what's real now. And this was only taught by the Buddha. So we get a little closer to understanding what life is right now. And it's very deep, much deeper than we thought before. And we just thought, okay, I'm leading quite a good life. I'm helping my family. I'm making good donations. I'm supporting people in my community. But this isn't enough. there has to be more precise understanding of life at this moment to let go the idea of I.
Add a few words to what Sarah has said. You mentioned the teaching about doing good. And yes, Buddha did teach the benefit of good deeds. But he also taught that, as Sarah explained, the goodness of the deed are the moments when the mental state, the consciousness, is wholesome. So really, when we talk about good deeds, we are referring to wholesome consciousness, whether it's dana, giving, or sila, restraining from doing bad deeds, or bhavana, which is mental development. And there are different levels of good deeds or good consciousness. Giving is one. Restraining from unwholesome speech, for example, is another. Developing all kinds of kusala, regardless of whether it involves an act of body or speech. For example, when there is metta towards another person, there may not be any bodily action accompanying the metta. It's just a mental state. That's another level of good. But the highest level of good is the wholesome consciousness that understands something about the true nature of the present moment, or to be more precise, of what is real at the present moment. And that is the teaching that was unique to the Buddha. So before he knew about the highest kinds of mental development up to the level of jhana, but what they didn't know was the understanding which sees the true nature of a reality of the present moment. And this is the teaching that is unique to a Buddha. And it's that level of kusala that we have not
Recording in progress.
consciousness that experiences what is visible or what is heard is different from the visible object itself or the sound that is heard. And these are different realities. We call them realities. The Buddha referred to them in different ways, but sometimes he used the term sankhara Dhamma, conditioned realities. And it is the understanding of conditioned realities, which is the essence of the Buddha's teaching.
And these realities that we have mentioned, and there will be more that are mentioned, these are what consist of the cycle. So the cycle of life, samsara, actually is just at this moment of good or bad, which leads to good and bad deeds and brings different results. So seeing now, hearing now, these results, so they're all part of the cycle. If there's no understanding of the cycle at this moment, the reality now, there will never be any understanding of what is meant by the end of the cycle. So first there has to be the understanding of what life is now, what the reality that can be known now is, such as at this moment of hearing, what is heard now. We're so used to thinking that I am hearing people and trees and cars and voices and different people speaking. But actually now the cycle is just the hearing of sound, just sound that is heard, different from the ideas we have about it. So understanding has to begin at this very moment. Otherwise, there cannot be any understanding of what is good or what is bad or what is the cycle. Perhaps Ajahn would like to add more comments, unless you have any further questions or comments you would like to make.
Music nhé.
Dạ không.
I don't have any more questions.
Nó không hiểu thêm không? Nó thêm. Thì nào thì không hiểu.
Mình có đặt câu hỏi chúng đức của khoa thì nãy giờ giải thích.
Thế là tôi hiểu mà. Bây giờ hiểu nhưng không hiểu. Cái là mình luôn cầu.
Rồi đấy chắc cũng giải thích cái mà cái thiện cái không thiện các lượng giúp đỡ.
Trang sẽ Trang chưa nói, Trang sẽ nói. Ở kia là cô Sarah.
Victor Hill said that he understand what you have said and understand that there the Akusala and Kusala and he want to hear more about Ajahn. He said that he understand what you have said and also want to hear more about what Ajahn want to say about this question.
I think that in the beginning there should be clear understanding of who's the Buddha. Otherwise, we just talk about the Buddha, but who's he? Is there anything about him which has been known that he's the Buddha? Or just the word Buddha? So, who's the Buddha? Otherwise, we don't know what will say all these words. So, did Buddha say anything about goodness? What did Buddha say about goodness or wholesomeness? His word.
Continue
Recording
with
in
the
progress.
discussion? Yeah. Jan, did you hear his answer?
Just now. What did he say?
When you asked who is the Buddha, he said Gautama Buddha.
Gautama Buddha. What is Gautama? See, just the word. But he taught for 45 years about that which is now appearing. Any time to understand the truth of it. So we can think by oneself to begin to understand about the words that we just heard. For example, very simple question like, is a tree wholesome, good? Is the flower good? Is the food good? Because now we're talking about goodness or wholesomeness. So what is it which is wholesome? Is it now there, right now? Or nothing? Or unwholesome? That's why we have to understand from the very beginning what is wholesomeness. Can a tree be wholesome? It seems like very simple questions, but it can lead to more understanding of wholesomeness.
He says yes. He
A tree? Wholesome?
thì cây có thiện không?
Có cái có thể.
He said yes. The tree has kusala.
Can a tree be unwholesome?
Cũng có khi có thể.
Sometimes yes.
So
Sometimes.
a flower, is it wholesome or unwholesome?
Cái hoa là thiện rất nhiều.
Cái hoa cũng có khi có thể mà cũng vì có thể.
Sometimes akusala, sometimes kusala.
We just use the word, but the nature of the truth, the reality of wholesomeness and unwholesomeness. What is it? Is it seeing now wholesome or unwholesome? It's not just the word, but the understanding. Just one characteristic of a reality at a time. Otherwise, we just talk in general, wholesomeness and unwholesomeness. What is there now? And what is it? Can seeing be wholesome?
No.
That's why we have to learn from the very beginning about the truth of the tree or seeing. Are they different or are they the same? And what is the difference if it is different? It has to be one's own understanding. Consider the truth of what we take for a tree, a flower, or a person, a being, a cat, a dog. What is there from moment to moment now appearing? The truth cannot be changed, but it depends on understanding or no understanding, even what we're talking about, like wholesomeness. Is it real? This is beginning to have a moment of considering about what I talk about, to be known little by little as it is. So we don't talk about our own thought, but what did Buddha say about everything now as it is? Otherwise, we do not have to cut.
Recording in progress.
Mình làm một cái việc gì đó mà giúp ích cho người mà người đó không thể là làm được.
Ngay bây giờ mà,
Ngay bây giờ thì bây giờ mình ngồi đây mình suy nghĩ những cái điều gì tích cực cho bản thân hay là cho xã hội.
Right now, what we are thinking about what we should do, should
Positive.
do well
What is positive?
for the society and everyone.
Let's say there is a moment of thinking about the welfare of others or what is good for society, a moment of kindness now. So if there is a moment of kindness now, that is kusala. But when Ajahn asked, is a tree kusala or a flower kusala, you said yes. I think there's some misunderstanding, because thinking with metta, with kindness about the welfare of the others, this is kusala, different from clinging, thinking of oneself. But thinking about a tree or a flower, any kusala? Or can a tree or a flower have any kusala?
Đôi khi không có.
Sometimes, yes.
Sometimes, yes. Can a tree have kusala? Can a tree think about other people in a kind way?
Đây là vô tri vô giác, không thể nào suy nghĩ cho người khác được.
Okay, the tree cannot think anything.
No, so a tree cannot have metta, and a tree cannot give. So a tree cannot be kusala. Is that correct?
Đúng.
Yes.
Right. So a tree is not kusala. A flower is not kusala. There was a misunderstanding. And when can there be thinking about the tree with metta?
Có.
Yes.
Is a tree a living being, a sentient being?
Không.
No.
No. So metta, kindness, is the being friendly to other living beings, the insects, the animals, the friends around. So it's the kindness for other living beings, not for tables or chairs or trees or flowers, because they're not living beings. They don't have chittas and chaitasikas, no consciousness. Can there be generosity towards the tree?
Không.
No.
Same reason. There can be generosity towards the insects or to the other friends or people in the street or the sick animals, but there cannot be generosity to tables and chairs and trees and flowers because no chittas or chaitasikas to be generous towards. So the kusala is now, it can be moment of kindness, moment of wise consideration, moment of understanding for a moment and then gone. And as soon as there's clinging or ignorance or wrong understanding, then akusala chittas arise. So the cycle is the arising of kusala and akusala that when it is strong enough conditions karma that can bring a result. And then the result are moments of birth, moments of seeing, moments of hearing, just like now. So the cycle is the reality just at this very moment. And each moment in life, each moment of seeing, each moment of hearing, each moment of kusala, each moment of kusala falls away instantly. Each reality is impermanent. So what is impermanent? Can it be satisfactory? Can it be any kind of refuge? Is it worth clinging to at all? So it's only the development of the understanding of the different realities in life that leads to the understanding later of the impermanence of those realities and the unsatisfactory nature of them. Each one is anatta, not in anyone's control, of no refuge at all, no matter how much goodness, however great the kusala, still each one is impermanent and dukkha, unsatisfactory in the deepest sense. Without the enlightenment of the Buddha, without the thorough understanding of the truth of life now, we would have no idea. And this is what the Buddha taught for 45 years, all about the true nature of life from moment to moment. So when we have the idea that I can do good, I should do good, when I help my friends, I am doing good, is it right or wrong understanding that I can do good?
Cái đó hiểu là đúng, là những việc tốt.
That kind of understanding is correct.
Yeah, but
I couldn't hear the translation.
Anh hỏi tinh thần này.
Cái đó là những cái tốt mình
and see
Recording in
what is the
progress.
I that can hear. Is I a reality? What is I that can do anything, that can do good, that can see, that can hear? What is I?
cái đó là theo quan điểm mình, không cái tôi không nghe không thấy được, mình theo cái quan điểm của mình, cái việc tốt.
That actually it's not that not me can do anything, but from my point of view that we should do the good things, the good deeds.
If there is no me, how can we do good things? If there is no I or we that can see now or that can hear now, how can I or we do good things? Who or what is the I or the we? In reality, can an I be found? Can seeing see an I? Can hearing hear an I? Or can only thinking think about an I? an eye that can see, an eye that can do things. So the Buddha taught that there are just two kinds of realities. Those realities that experience an object, like seeing and hearing and thinking, and those realities that cannot experience anything, like the color that is seen, the sound that is heard, the taste that is tasted. So life consists of different realities arising and falling away, those that can experience an object and those that cannot experience anything. But no I to be found. So the I is just an idea, a fantasy, a concept, a story. Because at this moment, seeing sees the color, hearing hears the sound, thinking thinks about doing good. Kusala chitas are wholesome. They motivate good deeds, but no I to be found. So the clinging to I is so strong, so difficult to let go of the idea of I. But this is the essence of the Buddha's teachings, that all realities that arise and fall away are anatta, no I to be found, no we, no you, no computer or table, in truth, just different realities, different namas which can experience an object, and rupas which cannot experience anything. And no self means no one who can control or who can decide or who can choose to be good. Even if there is the making, the offering, who can stop a kusala arising? Even now, listening in a discussion, who can stop moments of boredom or attachment or annoyance arising? Because each reality arises by its conditions. It's not in control of any I, because there is no I to be found. Any points to consider? I think Jan is ready to discuss further.
Okay, another question to thought about, to for considering about the truth. Is there life? Otherwise, we just talk about Mahayana or whatever is there, but is there life? Without considering, can there be any answer? Is there life? Are you thinking about the question? Is there life?
He said yes.
Now, You say yes, it means that you have some idea or understand life enough to say that there is life now. So what is life? There is life for sure now, everyone knows. But what is it?
Cái cuộc sống có một vài chi tiết là như sinh hoạt, đi công việc, rồi mình chơi giải trí gì đó, là ví dụ vậy, khi đó là cuộc sống.
That's our daily life. We working and we are traveling, everything in our daily life.
So what is life? Traveling is now. So it's traveling or sleeping. Is it life too?